Toadman's Flash Rain used against him, it would have done a lot more damage and he would have been dead in just a few quick seconds, but the Mega Buster does another decent job. I had less trouble with him than I did with Ringman, I think. As we'll get to see me get the ability for defeating the great and wonderful Brightman. You got Flash Stopper. I turned purple, even though he was like a weird orangish color. For whatever reason, Mega Man turns purple. Just, one of those great Mega Man color oddities that go on. Okay, next up, okay, not fun, it's Dive Man! Yay, Dive Man. He's really not that hard, but for whatever reason, I either do one of two things against him. I either destroy him quickly before he even does a single thing of damage to me, or I get my butt utterly handed to me and barely come out winning. Barely. And you'll see one or the other during the course of this one. Maybe both, because you actually have to fight him twice, because of course there is this one, and in the boss rush later in the game, I do battle with Dive Man once again. I really like the Matools, the scuba diving Matools in this level. I guess they knew that Matools were actually a pretty popular character, because of course they made them in all kinds of different forms throughout Mega Man, and we've seen helicopter Matools in games, and we have scuba diving Matools, and ones that ride bulldozers, and actually one of the end bosses of one of the castle stages in this game is a giant Matool. This is quite funny, as we have a giant purple whale who shoots out large missiles, even larger than the missiles that the giant purple hippo on a platform would throw at us. As I take a very, very quick drink, trying to make it over, and of course with a water-based stage, you have to get used to that whole gravity thing as we meet up with Eddie again, who gives us another big item health thing, even though I actually pretty much have full health, so there we go. Working my way over, big giant robot, I'm just going to slide underneath him without having to deal with it. Move down here, and continuing on back into another whole patch of water, which is fun, except this time the water level is changing. So we have to be very, very careful about not hitting spikes, and of course, as soon as you jump out of the water, you fall like a brick back down to the ground. So you always, of course, may want to wait until the water is at its fullest before you decide to make a jump. As we do battle with another giant purple whale, or a bluish. He's kind of bluish a little bit, but he's like a lighter purple color, depending upon, I guess, your color settings on your TV or your monitor. You would see maybe he would be a different shade of blue or purple, depending upon what you have your color set as. As I work my way over, watch out for these bombs that explode when you get near them. They're always fun to deal with. Work my way over, and of course we have a whole bunch of these, but the water level has decided to stay at its fullest. No more like high tide and low tide changing all the time. As we enter into Dive Man's level. Here we go with a ton of fun. Here's Dive Man. As his health likes to fill up very, very slowly as we eagerly anticipate the battle. He, of course, charges at me, which is pretty easy to jump with. But the problem with it is, if you jump too high, while trying to dodge things such as the missiles he likes to shoot out as well, as you're coming back down like I just did, I end up running into him because I couldn't fall to the ground fast enough because of the anti-gravity that's going on in the water. And as you can see, he's kicking the crap out of me, pretty much. But, come on, there we go. Dive Man is dead. I didn't die, so I guess that's a victory no matter what you look at it. So far, for a game that I usually do really good at, I'm really stinking it up today. I'm getting my butt kicked by a lot of these guys. Hopefully, though, on my easiest robots that I haven't even gotten a chance to fight yet, hopefully on them I really get to show something, because I usually kick the crap out of some of these other robot masters that we haven't gotten a chance to actually do battle with. But we will be starting now to do battle with them, because hey, we got 3 left, and actually they're 3 of my favorites. So here we go with Skullman to start it off. One of my favorite songs, if not my favorite song, from Mega Man 4, easily. And Skullman, he's not my favorite Robot Master, because that easily goes to Pharaoh Man in this game. But the distinction he has over most other things is he has pretty much the same exact ability as Woodman from Mega Man 2. Except, of course, instead of a leaf shield, he has a skull barrier, which is, of course, the exact same thing, except little skulls are floating around you. So, kind of an interesting thing. They kind of had to start repeating skills, because when you have someone like Skullman, who has a really cool design, and he has a really nice level with all the bones and all set up, an awesome song and everything, then you come to think of it, you're like, well, we've done all this level's awesome, and then you're like, well, what the hell abilities can we give Skullman? Does he just throw bones at you? I mean, what does Skullman do? And they decided that giving him Skull Barrier would be the absolute best thing for Skullman to have. So, he has Skull Barrier. So I work my way over, and of course these guys are fun to deal with, the guys with the turbo little things on their backs, and as they turn behind you, as they start facing the other direction, that's when you can jump up and blast a whole bunch of quick shots into them as we meet up with Eddie, the flip top again, who gives me a big health boost, even though I have full health. Good job, Eddie. That was very useful. Yes, that was definitely very, very useful. As I'm going to climb all the way up here, work my way over, past all these giant skull type. They have like a skull in their front, but as you can see, there's an eye in the back or whatever, vice versa. And the whole point for coming up here is similar to that whole area I went to in Brightman stage to get the extra energy tank at the bottom over here. Another pretty easy, simple to get energy tank. Grab that and work my way back over. Destroy little caterpillar style robots that somehow form and fall from the ceiling. The good thing is, though, in this one you actually have a ladder at the opposite side, so you don't have to backtrack, get back down that other ladder and work your way over. You actually can just go down here and continue on the stage. Work my way over and jump up and kill a random skeleton. And jump up, and these guys, if you shoot them with a single blast, they just collapse and they rebuild themselves. But when you do a charge-up shot to them, they actually fully die instantly, and they disappear. So the only way to really kill them is by doing a full-blown charge-up, max-charged shot. As we enter the domain of Skullman. Here we go with Skullman stage. Or Skullman's boss. Whatever. He fires a bunch of randomly placed shots, which are really easy to dodge, actually, and then he's doing his actual skull barrier, which he doesn't fire at us like Leaf Shield. It would have been probably cooler if he actually fired it at us, but for the most part, he jumps, does his little skull barrier, which does, nothing unless you're standing near it. He runs towards you or comes at you, and then he fires his random bullets, which are really easy to dodge. And he keeps repeating the process till, of course, you've drained all his health and completely taken him out. Boom. There's that final blast, and now we have taken out the great mighty Skullman. I like the fact that I'm green. I'm glowing neon green here, like I'm radioactive or something, as I get my ability while being radioactive. Quite funny, actually. As we get to see Mega Man turn, face the direction of the right area of the screen, and he gets to see you got Skull Barrier, which we turn turquoise. What the heck is up with the colors, I swear. We should be turning like a white, black, gray, something, but instead we turn turquoise. Okay, now we have 2 Robot Masters left to go, and we start off with Toadman, who's actually one of the easier Mega Man bosses in this game, if not the easiest. He's kind of like the equivalent of Flash Man or Top Man in Mega Man 4. He's pretty much the easiest of the Robot Masters, and his stage is a little bit of a pain, though, just because you're dealing with, of course, these really, really high winds, like hurricane force winds, as you're trying to make your jumps, so you're being, sent backwards while you're on this outside area, so everything's a little hard to make. And with birds flying at you and other things trying to hit you as well, the jumps have to be precise, and if you get hit in midair, you're more than likely falling right down a pit. So, of course, you have to time everything very particular. Work my way over, giant bird again. Continue over, and now we get the drop down. And now we are actually inside the building, so we don't have any more of that horrible jumping we have to deal with. Instead, we have currents that are in the water. So even more fun. jumps. We gotta make our jumps, and the water's pulling you while you're standing on the ground in whatever direction the water is flowing. So another one of those challenging jump type things that we have to deal with through the course of this run. Random slime-like creature as it fell from the ceiling there. Work my way down. And now we have the mini-boss of Toadman stage. The snail with the eyes that you shoot. For whatever reason, this snail can actually eject its eyes and throw them out at you, and then they'll retract back into his head. He also likes to throw random bombs at you as well. Yes, his only two attacks, of course, shoot him when his eyes are open, to deal a good amount of damage. And once he's taken out, we got the easier one done. We actually have another one of those snails coming up later on, just a little bit actually. In fact, I think that's it. Yep, here we go with the second snail. Same thing as before, except we decided to throw his eyes out first instead of shooting a bomb at us. Jump up and shoot when possible, charge up your shots and do more damage, obviously. I just got hit by one of his bombs.